Didn't you used to be a miner as well, Dad?
Yep, I was a... After I left plumbing, I started doing my HSC at night time, so I could go to university. And I went into the coal mines. 6 weeks, I did 6 weeks training underground, then I was sent to the face, the coal face, which was, used to take an hour from the surface to get in. It was about 10 to 12 kilometers in. I don't know how many feet down, but it was a long way. And it was a pretty scary job.
Could you describe your first day on the face?
My first day on the face, I was put on a long wall. I was trained to put chocks, move the chocks. It's hard to describe. You wouldn't... A long wall was a face of coal that was 200 meters long. And it was... A cutter would go along and cut the face, and it had hydraulic chocks behind the cutter to keep the roof up. And as you moved along the chocks, you were a chock man, and you moved the chocks forward so the cutter could cut coal and the roof fell in behind. When I got there, I think it was on my first or second day, I'm not quite sure, the roof hadn't fallen in for nearly 20 meters, about 20 to 30 meters or something along those lines.
Huh.
And you could hear, and that's 20 meters by 200 meters long, and it was rumbling and grumbling and going on, and it fell in, and it was so loud, and I was so scared, and I was 100 meters in either way. There was nowhere to run, nowhere to go, and I pissed myself. I was so scared. And 2 or 3 weeks later, I wouldn't even stop work when that roof fell in. You just got used to it.
Kept on going.
Just kept on going. You got to keep on going because it was big money. It was, yeah, it was good stuff.
Time was money, wasn't it?
Time's money. That's the best part about working in the coal mines. The harder you work, the more money you get.
And that's why you drink cups of tea and coffee so quick these days.
That's right. We used to have half an hour for lunch, but we used to only take maximum amount of time to go and eat your lunch, drink your cup of tea, and get back to the face. And that was it. Because time was money.
Now, could you tell me about the time when there was a certain man checking for metal on the conveyor belt, and you didn't like that particular person, so you played practical jokes on them?
Oh, there's some guys that they were really horrible and everything, so we used to have these metal plates that used to have a hole in them, and they used to bolt them up to the roof when you bolted the roof. It's like a big square washer. And this guy used to do, he used to take apples out of your bag and things like that in the crib room, and he wasn't a very nice person. And when you went to the toilet, you used to have to go to the toilet. And anywhere, there was no such thing as a toilet underground. You just find it was always dark, so there was no problem going to the toilet. So somebody, don't know who, shat on one of these metal plates, threw it on the conveyor belt, and if anything metal went down the conveyor belt, they had a magnet, a sensor that would pick it up. And the guy who we didn't like was down there, and he'd have to search through it and take the piece of metal off. When he was searching through it, he got the message.
They're all practical jokers down there though, weren't they, Dad?
Always. You couldn't leave. I used to have one guy who used to drive past on his show car and he'd spit down your Wellington boot. All things like that. Yeah, but it was scary stuff. Even now, if I get stressed, I have, like the last few nights, up until last night, I usually end up in a coal mine somewhere, running or being stressed or something like that.
So, did you ever have a roof collapse on you?
Yeah, lots of times I've had close shaves, and lost a few friends, killed.
Really?
It's not a pleasant place to work.
Can you tell them about the time the roof collapsed and you had to walk all the way back around?
Yeah, we're taking a lift off, and the roof was playing up, and 3 of us were asked to go and put extra props up, and the roof came in as we got in there, and it pinned us up against the wall, one big piece, but we left enough room for us to be sheltered.
Is it quite noisy when that comes down like that?
You've no idea. You have no idea. It is scariest thing possible. and we were able to go back along the lift and go into the return and then walk down about half a kilometre and then come back out around to where the miner was.
So you kind of like done a loop.
That's
back
right.
around, back the way you came.
That's right. And the guys were at the face calling our names out because it was just a solid wall of rock where it had fallen in. And they saw us come round the back, and they just, the miner, the boss said, right, he was crying, the under manager, and we all just
Do they all think you were dead?
Yeah, they thought we were gone. They thought we were gone.
So you snuck up behind them?
Yep. Hey guys, how you going? And we just had one big party, and we all got pissed at Balgownie pub. It was just, the under manager was just over the moon. It was fantastic. But a lot of camaraderie down there. You got to rely on your mates. They didn't suffer fools easily. You had to work, you had to do your job, and you had to do it properly, and you had to protect your mate you were working with. Yeah.
Did you earn good money down there?
Well, when I went teaching, I went to teachers college, and I worked in the mines in Newcastle at night shift while I was at university, and I was earning about $15,000 a year as a coal miner. My first wage, I got my first pay as a teacher, and stupidly enough, not stupidly, I wanted to be a teacher so badly, I didn't even check the rate of pay. And I said to the guys, oh, they've only paid me for a week. And the guy looked at my pay docket and he says, no, that's a fortnight's pay. And I went from $15,100 to $7,200 as a school teacher. So yeah, it was, but
You're not down a dirty black hole.
you're not down a dirty black hole, you're not down with a threat of being killed just about every day.
I don't know, some of those kids in Ryde were a bit tough. That high school over there.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. No, it's good. That's good. Teaching's good to me. You don't go. I had lots of overseas trips and organised lots of things. Met some absolutely beautiful children. Met some bad ones. Met some funny ones. But yeah, 33 years as a teacher. It's good.